Video update, guys. We're gonna check on the worm casting to make sure that our babies are eating nicely and them have enough food and stuff. Watch out. Things even not growing there. So I'm making a worm casting box. One of my subscribers requested me showing them how to make a worm casting box. So I'm just brainstorming now on what I would need to do if I was doing it DIY. And I found this. So I'm thinking, oh, this would be a nice, you know, little worm bed. So this is gonna be the crate of it. All right. So the worms are gonna be eating and all the stuff dropping through here. But because I don't want it to be like worms falling through as well, because it's so big, I want to make sure that when they poop or when they eat and roll around, they don't fall through. So I'm gonna put this mesh on it. So I'm working my head and I'm thinking, okay, what else could I go around in the garden and do? Because this is from inside. I had some old fabrics that I was making, some little you know, Disney princess dresses for little girls, and I was doing the mermaid one. So I have this mesh which is fairly fine. The little baby probably worms will fall through, but I don't think they would be down at the bottom of the, they'll be more up in the nursery. So I think they're going to be protected. So what I'm thinking of doing is lining the bottom of the container with this mesh, and I'm gonna get a bigger mesh because I'd like to line the whole entire thing, because I'm gonna pack this up with food, and then the worms gonna go through it. So I'm gonna pack up all of the kitchen scrap I've got in here with some papers, and you're not gonna see what I do, but basically this is what I'm trying to, you know, sort out in my head. I come up with a plan. So this is what I'm going to be doing, and I'm gonna get a bigger piece of, you know, netting. All right. So when I do get the netting and I line it with this, I am thinking, okay, how am I going to make sure that this is raised up? So I either could have like put it on 2 blocks and make a little base underneath where I could catch all the stuff in a little plastic container underneath. Or I was just looking in the garden, what else could I come up with, and you know, what else could I put together to get, you know, the solution when I look fast. Right, so I just went around in the garden and I found some other stuff that I wanted to show you if you've got in your garden. If you've got anything looking like this, like an old clothes peg container, you could use this as a worm casting bed as well. You could make sure that you have another container under this that catches everything that falls through. So if you wanted to mesh it as well, you could put another fine mesh like that at the bottom of it or all around it. So I'd put it inside. So basically I'd just grab this mesh and just stuff them inside like that. You do it neat enough, and then you'd just pack it with food for the worms. So whatever falls through is going to be small matters and not big worms falling through the holes, if you get what I mean. So you don't really have to go out and buy a worm casting, you know, box or container. You could make it yourself, you know. If you've got any fabric like this in the house lying down, that's a good go. Once it's got small holes where, you know, say, you know, dust will drop through, or because remember the worms little and you get what I'm saying, so it catches under here so proper. That's better. See, we all work together as a team. Let's do the same to this one now. So I am going to cover this one. Put up that bit. So now we're left with this. There you go. So we can line. All right. So now I'm gonna start putting stuff inside. So we're gonna start putting stuff inside. Guys, look what I just got. I got this bucket from my neighbor. This container. I think it was like a toolbox, old toolbox. And I thought, can I have that? He said yes. Look how perfect this is gonna go with the worm casting. Look how perfect this is, guys. So I'm going to be making my worm casting box today and show you how it's done. Look. And then I can bring the sides up like this to hold it up, and the other one to hold it up. Look at that. All right, let's continue with this video. All right. Now that I've finished juicing my juice, I can use these remaining, you know, for my worm casting bin. All right, guys. Waste not, want not. Guys, I've got a bucket here with some, you know, food scraps and stuff. Let me tell you, worms do not like citrus, so take these out. If you have citrus in there, and if you have any onion skins, worm don't like them. They don't like them, so make sure you don't put none of that in there. All right. I've added my, you know, pulp from my juicer. I can take this up to the worm casting section. I had started adding some worms in and I forgot, and the sun get to them and I totally forgot, peoples. And I don't know. Oh God, I don't want to say anything that the sun dry out and kill. Oops. But anyways, I'm gonna fill this up with some compost and some coconut fiber, and I'll be right back. So I'm just gonna add some of the compost into here, and I'm gonna go around just adding some of the homemade compost in here, and then add the peat moss, and then we can add the worms. All right. Now I'm going to go around collecting the worm casting that was created in the buckets from the little worms. And this was done naturally. So I'm just going around to get some of that I can kickstart my, you know, worm composting bin. And the reason why I'm using compost as well is because of the microorganism presented in the compost. That's going to, as I said, jumpstart and break down the organic materials by the worms. So when we add the first layer of compost, then we're going to add our coconut fiber, then we're going to add the worms on top, and then we're going to put the food on top of the worms. That's what's going to break down. That's what we call organic materials, and the worms is going to break that down, and that's going to provide additional nutrients. Because the compost is rich in certain nutrients that can supplement the diet of the worms, if you add this to your bin, you're going to provide the worms with more diverse range of organic matter to feed on. And that's going to lead to production of nutrient-richer vermicompost. That's what it's called, vermicompost processed. All right? So I am creating a balanced ecosystem by adding the compost to the worm bin. And that's going to create an ecosystem within the bin itself. So the compost can act as a source of food for the worms and other microorganisms. That's going to contribute to a healthier, thriving vermicompost environment. I'm going around the garden collecting worms. All right. So basically what I try to say is, overall, if you add the compost to the worm bin, it's going to support the vermicompost process by providing nutrients, beneficial microorganism, and a diverse food source for the worms. All right. So it's going to lead to more production of high quality vermicompost. That's what we want. This is the compost I've been making. I haven't checked on it for a good while now, so I know it's probably got lots of worms. So I'm just gonna flip it over and have a little check. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna put this whole pile in the worm casting. All right, and remember, we're doing it somewhere where it's cool and not too hot. All right, so there you go. Just gonna break that up. Look at that, guys. Look at this. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, so now that we've got our worms in, we're gonna add some of the peat moss as well over them. All right, we're gonna add these because they're gonna eat it down. They love it. They're gonna eat it, and then I'm gonna wet the burlap top of them to keep them moist. Alright. I could have put the peat underneath first and then put it on top, but so I've just wet the burlap and make it nice and moist for the worm. Alright. Just give it some more water. Just making sure that the worms don't dry out. Nice, and keep them warm. Alright. Keep them cool and nice. So this is the fiber I'm going to use to cover up. Alright, so I've added the peat, the coconut fibers over on this side, and then I add some more worms on top. So all the worms are in now. So all I'm going to do is use the burlap and cover them down for a while. You can let this stay for a few days or stuff if you don't want to add the food straight away, just to get them settled into their new home. Or you can just add the food directly to it and start feeding them, which I'm going to do because them look hungry. So I've got some of the juice scraps here, so I'm just gonna add this on top over here, sir. They don't like oranges and them something there. They don't like them at all, so some tissue paper, add some tissue paper to that as well. Them love papery stuff, and it keep them cool and nice as well, you know. Don't add too much, but just add enough, all right, that they can eat through it. And then now just add the rest of fruit peels and stuff. I've got some slushy bananas, I've got some celery stick, I've got some lettuce pieces, you know. Them are there for a long while eating. Alright. So I think that's enough for now. And you just keep on feeding them. Not every day, not every week. But you come check them periodically and see if the food gone down. And if the food gone down, you just replace it. Alright. Just gonna add the burlap over it. Cover them up and keep them nice and cool. Alright. Keep them nice and cool. And then I'm gonna get a lid to cover this up. Okay, so there you have it, a little worm box. It's heavy, guys. And then now where we're gonna store it. It's so cool. Look at that. DIY now, recyclable. And to support him, I'm gonna put this side up and this side up as well. Let me just fix him a bit more. That's better. And then this side up, so we support him nicely. All right, give me a minute. So where we're gonna store our worm bin, we need to find a cool location away from sun, away from hot spots, and I've got the perfect location. Come and see. So we're gonna place our worm box right underneath this tree, which is cool and nice and away from, you know, traffic. And then we're gonna use a cover for this. We're gonna put a cover on here to keep it away from the rain. All right, have a look. So this is where we're gonna keep our worm casting, you know, bin. We've got our fertilizer and our compost. So this is our fertilizing station. This is where the gold, this is where I keep all the gold liquid and the gold dust. All right, so don't come over here, come rob me. This is my gold, this is my vault. Anyways, this is my worm casting bin. It's in its position. I need to get a lid for it, and let's just have a little peek in there to see how we're looking. Oh wow. So if you want to know how to make this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Come over and see what we've got going on in the garden. This is our new amenity, our worm casting box, done DIY-ly. All right, this is how you do it. Now. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you learned something informative from this video. Keeping your worm bin in a cool place, feeding your worms, giving your worms, you know, the essential food that they need to supply the best liquid gold for your garden. Okay, dog. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to love yourself a bit more. Why do we add compost to the worm casting bin? If we introduce a small amount of mature compost to the worm casting bin, it's going to help it to start develop beneficial microorganism that is going to aid in the decomposition of the food you added in for the worms. The microorganism presented in the compost is going to help jumpstart the breakdown of organic materials by the worms. Okay, it's going to provide additional nutrients, and it's going to balance the ecosystem of the worms. So overall, adding compost to the worm casting bin is going to support the vermicomposting process, and it's going to provide additional nutrients to the soil, which are going to give you beneficial microorganisms, as I stated, but it's also going to lead to the production of high quality food and plants in your garden. Not to mention, your compost is going to be valuable. Why do we add the coconut fiber? We also add the coconut fiber to create aeration and moisture retention for the compost bin. It's going to provide suitable environment for the worms to thrive and break down organic materials. It also is going to help to balance the carbon to nitrogen ratio in the compost pile, and that's going to aid in the decomposition process. Coconut fiber is sustainable and eco-friendly, and it's substitute to peat moss, so it's going to make it a popular choice for organic gardeners and composters like myself. Why do we add the burlap? The burlap can serve as a beneficial covering for worm compost bins. I add it because it's going to provide airflow to the bin while still allowing it to retain the moisture, and it's going to create the best environment for the worms to thrive and break down the organic material. Why do you feed the worms? That is a rhetorical question. By feeding the worms a balanced diet of organic matter, you're going to create an ideal environment for them to thrive and effectively convert the waste material into compost for your garden. So feeding the worm also helps maintain the microbial activity in the compost bin, which is essential for decomposition, and giving you a high quality compost that will gonna be effective in the garden. Setting up your bin, you need to make sure when setting up your compost bin, you can do that indoors or outdoors, but you're gonna make sure you find the ideal place for it, because worms do not like light, they do not like sun, and the temperature needs to be ideal. So if it's indoor, the temperature and moisture levels should protect the worms from extreme weather conditions. And if you prefer keeping them outdoors, they should be in a shaded area, which is here, and it's protected from direct sunlight, heavy rainfalls, and you need to cover it up. All right, the temperature needs to be between 55 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 13 to 25 degrees Celsius. That's going to maintain consistent temperature and keep them comfortable and active. You need to make sure where you place the worm is accessible. So accessibility needs to be a thing for the worm casting bin. So I can walk there and I can walk here. So when you're doing that, it's going to give you ideal environment to feed the worms and to maintain a good monitoring of the worm casting bin, because you don't want the bin to dry out. All right, you're gonna make sure ventilation to prevent odors and maintain airflow within the worm bin. That's why we add the burlap and the peat, the coconut fibers. That's gonna help airflow within the bin, right? Consider all these factors, you're on a way to having a successful worm casting bin or a vermicomposting bin. Okay, then? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Go, guys. I just borrowed the the germinating lid. And I make sure it's closed. Yeah, it's closed, that no water can get into it. And there you have it. It's gonna be ideal because it comes over the ledge, so no water can get into it at all. All right, peoples. Soon. So let us just check and see how the wormery is going on. There's no smell. Good. Let me see under there. Ooh, okay. You have maggots, you have flies, you have all sorts. All right. Let me just move it a little bit and see what comes up. Let's see. Ooh, my God, didn't you have much? Jesus. Oh wow, they've been eating, man. We have to go top them up. Jesus. Most of the food in their mouth, don't it? Look, you see if you see no babies. Huh? Most of the food eat out, people. Then them have most of the food. Alright, here what I'm gonna do now. I have some more food. I'm gonna top up. So let's go and get some food that we can top up and show you how I top this up. Alright? Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Let me peep down in here, so. Watch ya. You see little something down there, so? Hey, alright. Alright, let me cover them back. Soon come with no food. You see that? And it don't smell. All me I smell like a crocus bag. Alright guys, we soon come. I go get some food. So guys, I took this from the juicer just now and I'm going to put it onto the worm bed. But I wanted to show you something. I've got some more down here as well. But I wanted to show you something. When I opened this and I looked, I realized most of the pools are falling over that side. You see it? Most of the dirt are collect over there. So I was thinking, okay, that means the worms will migrate to one side of the worm bin. So I decided to check. Look, them over here. So I did see them a while ago. Where them gone? Watch out. Yes, see them there. So one there. They're over here, so eating. Them over this side. So I mean, them over here, so them finish eat off everything. And over there, so cause it's so warm. So I'm gonna push back some of these over here, so. Like a so. Okay. And then I could grab my little food thingy. And then I'm just gonna put some over there upon them. And then can get some food, see some warm dust as well. Then I light the lights, you see, so yeah. Give them food and eat it. You know? And we chomp through this. I'm gonna see how long I'm gonna take to chomp through this as well. You know? So that's it. Put food on that side. And then we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Alright? And then we can just put these back over to keep it warm. Yeah? I won't put no food up there, so I'll see what happens. And then I just put this back over to keep them nice and cool and dry as well. And then I put the cap back over. So you see, say keep it safe and dry, guys. Proper dry, not true, because the burlap is still dry inside. And then we're gonna leave it and then come back and check on it a few more times. Alright? So my food dash out, yeah, so yeah. We're gonna come back again, okay? Video update, guys. We're gonna check on the worm casting to make sure that our babies are eating nicely and them have enough food and stuff. Watch out. Things even are growing there. What the granny is this? What's growing in here? What is this? I don't even know what that is yet. So in your nice and moist. Wow. Look. Them eat down enough of the food. Look, you see little microorganism as well. You see the thing is vibrating. You see worms as well. Oh, it's nasturtium. It's nasturtium, guys. Right, but anyways, them eat out a lot. So it's time to feed them again, hungry little fellas. Let's see what's underneath here. Okay. A lot of things falling down, guys. Okay. Excited. Alright, we're gonna put some more food on top. And this is just the juice scraps. I'm just gonna load it on. Just gonna load it on and cover everything. So this is just food scraps for them. And they're gonna eat that down. I'm gonna insert how long ago was the last feed. So this is gonna be the third time I come over here to look at the worm casting bed. All right, and we're gonna put our burlap back under. We're gonna cover back with our burlap piece of fabric, and we're just gonna watch them eat, and then when it get closer to, you know, autumn, I'm gonna actually start like just feeding them on one side and harvest some of the casting, because I think it'd be ready by then. But they're looking good and everything's dry still on top, so this method really works. Okay, and there you have it, guys, my little worm casting bed. So this is our third little visit and, you know, inspection of the bed. It's going on really good, so we'll come back when it's closer to autumn. All right. Right, it's been a few days since I fed them, so I just wanted to see how quickly they're eating, because I'm not too sure. Jesus. Okay, it's going down good. They haven't devoured it yet. It's just been a few days, I think probably 4 days or 5 days. Okay, so it takes actually like a week for them to, you know, eat off everything. Just checking. So this has been a few days, if not 2 weeks, after I've checked the worm casting. I've got a cabbage here that I forgot to use, and then I've got some food and some more, you know, tissue paper here disintegrating. So, and I've got tea bags as well, so I'm gonna open up and see what's going on in here. It's dry. Good, that's what we want. Okay, they've eaten down a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna start spreading some cabbage leaves over. So this is gonna be what, the 5th time? I think it's the 5th time feeding them. I'm gonna throw some of this flavor on it as well. They're just gonna eat down everything. Eat. Let me take that tape off. I think this is a bit of plastic. Alright, let me take this out for now. Alright, and then I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna just break up the cabbage leaves and then I'll come back. Alright. Oh, I need to take them onions out. They don't like onions. They don't like onions at all. You saw the onion? This is my onions from my garden. You saw it stay in the tissue paper? So good. I could use that to dye clothes. Alright, let me come back. So I just put some on already, and I'm just gonna put some more on, and this will keep them for a few more weeks. Probably 1 more week, innit? We'll see. Today is the 5th of August, so we'll see when we come back what date it's going to be. All right, so I'm gonna cover this back up and keep them warm again. Press it down. Make sure them keep warm at all times. Okay, and then I'm gonna put the lid back on and we'll come back and check. All right, guys, look, nasturtium growing. Ah boy, wherever there is life, there is hope.